Oh, you're live. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, everyone here. I'm Chelsey, Valentina, and this is my first guest, for Conquer Your Fear, which is AJ. She's also a very good friend of mine who is, a counselor. Yeah, and a very loving person, someone who have helped me through my college years. Okay, no, university years since we did masters together and not in college. Yeah. So welcome on board. Would you like to share with us, about some background about yours? What do you do? Stuff like that.
Sure. All right. First of all, I would like to extend my appreciation towards you. Thank you so much for having me in this session today. I think it's been quite some time that we, did. This is our first event, I would say, first sharing
Yeah,
session, first talk.
true.
I truly appreciate it. Right. So my name is AJ. AJ stands for my initial Atiqah Jani. I am a registered counsellor under Lembaga Counsel Malaysia. I've been practicing as a counsellor for almost 7 years. Um, Graduated, back in 2014 in Bachelor of Counselling, University of Malaya, and also I'm in the same class as Chelsey, graduated in Master in Criminal Justice, University of Malaya as well. So I've been experiencing, providing my services as a counsellor in a university setting, NGOs, and also rehabilitation center, and so on, and also a mental health advocate. And yeah, Chelsey, I'm truly excited and look forward for our discussion today.
Yeah, it was kind of like an impromptu thing where I just decided that, let's do this and just catch random, some friends of mine to actually do it.
All right.
Yeah, so talking about this activity or project, actually I wanted to do something more like a talk, and then I decided, why not, let's come up with a topic, which is, conquer your fears. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I decided that, doing conquer your fears, because I think that, fears is something that a lot of people is facing, especially with the pandemic, regardless whether God is there a pandemic or not. I think a lot of people are actually facing these kind of issues here and there. So I decided, why not give a sharing on, fears, and if anyone, if it could help anyone, then it would do some benefits to whoever who's watching it and listening to our sharing. Yeah. Of course, apart from our casual talk, yeah, because I tend to want it to be a little more casual so that we can also have fun and get away live. Just that the difference is, instead of doing it on mobile phones and stuff like that, we're doing it live. Yeah, the only difference format about it. Yeah, so talking about fears and stuff like that, you mentioned to me that there are some things and issues that you actually face on previous environment. I would say previous workplace environment. So would you like to share on what are some things that actually leads you to this thing called fear in the environment back then?
Right. When it comes to fear, I do feel and believe that you can also relate to it, and whoever might listen to our sharing session today might also relate to it. So definitely, it is very close and personal to me, especially when we have to go through, and of course, obviously, I'm talking from my own perspective as well, that we have to go through all this, tough time. And I myself, I have to do some self-disclosure, from time to time throughout this session. Right. So since I've been experiencing working in I would say more than several organizations and settings, and also different industries as well. So I do find, from time to time, I have to take on, do some self-adjustment, and also try to, how to say, get to used to something new, and leaving one place and then going to another place, to new environment. Definitely, it is, I would say, challenging, and I have that fear at the very beginning, even before I leave a place, and also before I'm about to start in a new place. So recently, I mean, after 5 years working in one organization, I finally decided to leave that organization, to look for more opportunity, and also to to grow myself, obviously. And at that point of time, I did not, we could not predict, like never any of us would ever predict that pandemic happened. And
Yeah.
that was the point of time when I already decided to tender my resignation letter, and then boom, a month after that, we were informed that we have to, lock down, stay at home and all. So it is something that truly unexpected, and that caused a lot of fear, if I can be honest. And basically, I've been like struggling throughout these uncertainties, and going into new environment, new place. When I were offered the opportunity to work in a new environment, of course, the excitement was there. I'm definitely look forward for new place, new work, new job, new challenges. But the fear was there, and I did not realize that the fear was actually constantly there. Until I started to figure out something is wrong, something is doesn't feel right, something is off about myself. Like, I am the person who have gone through a lot, and I always check myself. And since the purpose of me going into different organization is for self-growth, definitely I have to do some self-reflection. So that's when I started to feel something is off, something was off, I decided to take a step back, and I talked to some, to the people around, especially my family, my close friends. Yeah, when I started to talk about it, and I started to gain much more insight about my current condition, about the whole situation. And one word that come across on my mind at that point of time was, I'm scared. I don't know. Can I survive? Like, what should I do? That kind of question started to pop out in my mind, and it's a constant concern, fear, being scared for, I would say, for a few months. But at the beginning, I wasn't, very sure about how I feel, because I was busy, adjusting myself. So when so I'm much more focusing on that, instead of really take some moment to check myself, to ask myself about how do I feel about this whole situation. Yeah, but I'm glad, even though feeling scared or fear, feeling something wasn't right. Definitely, it's not something that is pleasant. Just very very uncomfortable. But I learned from that little piece of experience that I go through. So yeah. So to answer your question is, me moving from one place to another place, and the uncertainties, plus the uncertainties that been happening around, the concern about the virus, the vaccine, political, financial, health, and so many more. So when you add up everything, it feels a lot. It feels a lot.
True. I mean, I do understand that, since I technically I also resigned during this pandemic, because I think that, pandemic or not, I should get out from the company. After so many companies ready one after another, and I realized that it's kind of like an evil cycle that keep on following if you don't make any changes. And I realized that maybe being in a company is not something that I want to do. So regardless how, I decided to get out from there. And of course, there's this concern where financially it's not stable, and then with all this pandemic and things that's happening, so I decided to I actually went to a stage where I wouldn't say depression, but it was kind of like slight there's some mental meltdown, I would say. Yeah, I think we all actually go through that phase, especially it's a dangerous movement to do it, and then we happen to do it during this pandemic, which people will normally, especially those who's the elders, would actually say that don't do it, you run out of cash, it's very dangerous, why not you just wait. But that actually kind of how's it, make your mental issue become more serious. If let's say the whole place is already a toxic place, yeah, and you kind of have to save yourself before you actually look through the other things. Of course, I do not recommend that just jump out of bed and then don't get I mean, not financially stably, then just jump out of it. But if you are able to do so and you think that your mental health and getting away from this toxic environment is more important, then I would say that go ahead and do it. Yeah, and then things would happen and things would come to you on a pace that it's right for you. So don't need to worry too much about it, but just do whatever that you think is right. Yeah,
I agree
that's
with you. Right.
True. I mean, both of us.
Just to add on some point that you have been mentioning now, you just mentioned just now. So, talking about mental health, talking about burnout, meltdown, breakdown, and all this terminology definitely sounds very concerning. And imagine that being in that state and that condition, it's if you realize it, you have that self-awareness, and then you probably do something about it. It's fine. But what if someone maybe in a state of denial? They don't accept the fact that it's really not healthy, it's very toxic and that kind of thing. But it's just that they have to be in denial because they have to continue working, in order to earn the money. But here's the thing, to be right throughout this tough time, I've been working, I would say, 3 different organizations within this 2 years, 2020 to 2021. And one thing for sure that I realized, talking about mental health perspective and aspect, I started to lose not my mind but myself. So I started to discover again, like when what I've just mentioned earlier, which is something was off, but I don't know what is it. But losing myself was something that is really, really, I would say, made me feel very overwhelmed and emotionally affected. And to wake up every single morning to do whatever that you should be doing, something that in the past it is something that you are so excited about, it's your passion, but it's no longer there. That was one of the moments when I started to ask myself, like, is it worth it? Like, do I even think or consider about my own self, about my own well-being? So these are the questions that I asked myself throughout the process of making that decision. So yeah, I think I can totally relate to what you just shared just now.
Yeah, I also question myself silently, trying not to make it like a big thing, so that it wouldn't affect like my other family members thinking that I made the wrong decision. Because when I make something like a decision, especially this major one, I would hope that, I mean, we all hope that it would be right. So we are trying not to question ourselves while questioning ourselves. Yeah. So during that time, I would say I kind of like I went through this so-called mental kind of thing, where I was just laying down on the sofa every day, getting up, aimlessly, nothing to do, not like nothing to do, it's just that you have something to do but you don't feel motivated to do. It's like you have already wasted a lot of energy, a lot of time doing things for other people, and then you, like you mentioned earlier, you tend to lose yourself. Then when you lose yourself, it's a long process to actually come out of it and really find through yourself. It actually took me about a month to actually get through this whole thing and found that what I want to do, even though and then sort things out and come back alive, I would say. Yeah. I think then I realized that throughout all this time I have been spending my time for other people. And then I have been doing things for other people, and then especially when I went into the workplace, because I used to be back then in college and university somewhat like a leader person. So when you go to the workplace, especially it's like a new environment, you tend to be a follower person. So when you tend to be a follower, it doesn't really match that so-called personality of mine. And then that's when the whole dilemma and trying to find myself process came by. So I decided to just go with the flow with whatever that people want me to do. And then I realized that I got stuck in that evil routine, and then with all the politics and the environment, I decided I need to get out. But getting out, it's a huge change, of course, a huge step. And then when you get out of it, then after you find yourself in this meltdown, I would say a breakdown, and then it's a whole long process of finding yourself, building your whole confidence, and then getting back again, and to stand at where we are again. So I think we kind of share this this kind of emotions together, I would say, at this stage, since we kind of make this huge decision at the same time.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I because my career journey started back in 2014. It started off quite well, I would say. There's some challenges here and there. I'm trying to adapt myself, going to career world, learning about the culture in an organization, and how to do your job and things like that. And then when you started to be good at it, and then of course that's when I started to think about, okay, maybe it's time for me to leave. Maybe it's time for me to grow. It might be, it's not going to be easy, because we have to start off again from zero, from scratch. But again, I believe that life is all about ups and downs, and then whether or not you are ready to take out all these challenges. If not, you're not going to learn, you're not going to grow, you're not going to even know yourself, your limit, that kind of thing. And I ask myself, before I decided to do something, especially this kind of huge decision, have I tried enough? Like, have I experienced enough, learned so much at that phase? If I'm not happy with something, have I really communicate about it and then do something about it, make a change and things like that? And after considering that, because this kind of question is kind of important throughout your decision making process, because it will give you some insight and also some ideas, or maybe a different perspective. And then talking to someone else, in your organization, or someone that you look up to, or maybe someone that you trust. So it definitely helps so much. But again, at the end of the time, it's all about you. Like, you know yourself, you know what you are doing, where you're going, and no matter what happens, you have to be responsible towards whatever consequences that are going to happen in future. So yeah, I do ask myself that question like again and again, until I feel okay, right, it's time. So that's why when things happen, instead of being angry, or just can't move on from a certain situation or issues, I might need some time to recover, obviously. But end up, I know that I have to pick up myself. Like, I have to face the fear, because the feeling that I experience, the emotion that we have been feeling, it's temporary. I believe that it's temporary. And I think that kind of mentality definitely helped me, even though not too much or not everything, but at least that could be the foundation of my recovery process, from one situation to another situation. So yeah.
How long was it from then and until now? I mean, like, have you gone out from this have you recovered? Have you gone out from all these downs feelings?
Right.
Self-doubting?
I'm confidently and positively would like to answer that as yes, finally. It took me, I think, a month to realize that something was off. And then after that, I don't know why, but I sit on that problem for quite some time, because maybe at that point of time, because it's too much and overwhelmed. I mean, it was a lot for me to handle at that point of time. Maybe I don't see the light. Maybe I don't see the way out. I don't see the door. Or maybe too much door for me to choose to open, to go out from that place, something like that. So again, fear. Maybe because I am so afraid that I might not able to recover, might not able to go to a better place, or maybe I might not able to forget what people did to me or whatever. So that kind of mentality will actually not helping at all actually at that point of time, because it made me feel stuck or change into whatever into that phase that I don't like it at all. It's a very dark phase. So even though someone might try to offer their hand to offer some help, whatever, but I might be afraid. The fear is still there. Like, what if it happened again? What if I got hurt again? Like, what if the situation will never get better? That kind of thing. So, but after processing all this, and I mean mentally, emotionally, and then I started to recall back, like in the past, what do I want to do actually? Like, why did I even begin? Why do I even started? So that question actually helped me throughout that process of recovery. And the more I shared, because I at that point of time I kept it inside, because I don't want to burden other people, because it's a tough time. I don't really open up much at that stage, at that point of time, that when I was feeling very down, because I don't want people to think that I'm a failure also, that kind of mentality that I have at that point of time. But after I realized that, okay, enough is enough, I have to really restructure the way I think, and I have to really recall back my core, like what is my core belief system, that kind of question. So after that, I started to talk to someone that I trusted. When you talk, when you share, when you express, there's a power behind that. Even in therapy, we call it as a talking therapy. It actually helps someone to organize their thoughts, to really check how they feel about that whole situation. Then when you started to feel like, after you express everything, you started to feel lighter. When you feel lighter, you're no longer being clouded purely just by your emotion, that negativity, that you're being harsh towards yourself. Then you only able to decide, then only you able to see the light. So yeah, this is this is what I've gone through before.
I
So
agree with that. Yeah. In fact, I was also at that stage, and then I figured out, same as you. I said that not sometimes it's not about ego and stuff like that. It's just that you, like you mentioned, that you don't want to burden anyone. We all don't want to burden anyone. We try to keep it all to ourselves, and then through a certain period of time, it kind of burdens us back. Yeah, and then as we about to seek help, then we're thinking that let's not give them trouble, let's not give them more things that they already have on plate already. So we tend to pull it back and hide it back again. Then I think it's like a process. Then when you reach another process where you kind of just have to let it out, that's when you will search for people, and then like get people to actually inspire you back. Because sometimes, like you mentioned, it's an energy force that when people come together, it gives you more inspiration, give you more idea, things to share, and suddenly you have that moment that, oh yeah, this is what I have I want to do, this is what I want to go out through, this is what I want to get over it, and how I actually overcome it. Sometimes people do help, but at that moment of time, maybe we're just stubborn and stuff like that it's better to keep it to ourselves, because we do not want to burden. At that period of time, I think many of us also would think that we don't want to put something on to other people, because they might have a lot of other matters, family things, relationship things, workplace and stuff like that. So it's better not to make it another one of their issues. But then sometimes we just have to share, because it's the energy that will actually helps each other to actually grow from there, and we will get over it, I would say, quicker than we do it by ourselves. That's why sometimes, I mean, we study psychology, apart from, of course, criminal justice and youth counseling. So we all know that we need someone to actually talk to, like you mentioned, or if, let's say, those who are capable of, to find a therapy to actually get it over. Because sometimes you might not be able to see, or clouded by all your emotions, you might not be able to see what it's showing in front of you, but you just clouded, so you couldn't see all these kind of things. Right. So to your question, Do you actually find a moment that you actually dislike yourself? I don't want to use the word hate, so I shall use dislike. Yeah, was there a moment that you feel like, I don't like myself?
Of course, of course. I think one of the moment is the moment that I just shared with you just now. When you started to discover that this is no longer the version of yourself that you are familiar, with. Suddenly you became a different person, and this different person is not a better version, but it's a I would say, mm, not a very good side. Not someone that you're gonna like, or you, yeah. So, but I have to accept the fact that feeling up and down in life is normal.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes it is out of our control. It is not something that we plan. No one wants to, having that kind of, tough time in their life. Definitely, especially when you are doing good, doing something in your life, and then there's a progress, you're doing even better, and then suddenly when things happen, and then you started to fall again. It's painful, um, and maybe because you are in pain, you tend to romanticize the feeling of, pain. Again, like the word that I mentioned, sit on that, and on that situation, like, you don't want to go out. It's like, but do you have choice? Can you make a decision to go out? Maybe at that point of time you don't really realize or think about it, don't really consider about all this stuff. You just, feeling all this feeling, pain or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but how long, that question, how long do you want to be like this? Like, is this helpful? You know that you don't like this version of yourself. Okay, fine. um Maybe it is temporary. It is temporary, maybe for this time, for just a short period of time, but one day you have to get back to the right track. You have to call back yourself, like, come back, let's do something about it. But it is not as simple as that, obviously, of course. um but yeah, not being myself, when I started to lose myself, when I no longer practice what I used to believe or used to, spread to others. That is the version of myself that I don't really appreciate. um, but I can't control that at that point of time. But looking back, I believe that I wish I was quick enough to admit not being in denial, and then accept the fact, and then talk about it, talk to someone, and then do something about it. Because feeling pain for a longer period of time, it is not nice. It is not good for yourself, because things happen in your life. Maybe the situation is very tough, the environment is very difficult, people are giving you a hard time, people are being bad, or treat you badly or whatever. But how about you yourself? Why are you treating yourself badly as well, like others? Like, if you can't do something good for yourself, if you can't appreciate, or you can't help yourself, you can't love yourself, so who else can do all that? So it's you, it's you.
I get it. Yeah, especially like the word that you mentioned about romanticized pain. I think unintentionally we all do. We all fall in love with pain and we all tend to get stuck in it, and we feel that we deserve the pain and we should be in pain. And then we continue on in that whole cycle, and then it hurts, but we think that if we just get out of it, it's not right. It's like not the right thing. It doesn't feel like us, and then we tend to just turn around and fall in love with the pain. So I get it, because I mean, not only in workplace, I would tend to do also in relationships, and also in I would say due to family histories and relationship stuff, and I couldn't get out of that whole box. It's just like how when I see something or someone that I really like, and then I would, if let's say the person is so perfect to me, I would scared like, I don't deserve this kind of person, I don't deserve this kind of thing, and I will push this thing away. And then if let's say there is someone else who comes along, or something else that come along that, it fits that romance kind of concept, that pain kind of concept, then I would just easily open the door and like, hey, come here, I admire you, even though you already know for a fact that this thing or this person will hurt you, guarantee, yeah. But you tend to just want to do it because it somewhat feel good to be in pain. Yeah. I actually didn't realize this whole fact until my best friend actually come and tell me, and then like, you're actually punishing yourself by doing this. Yeah, you think that you don't deserve something good, you don't deserve something that someone who's worth it, so you tend to punish yourself. But even though I listened to what she had mentioned that time, I just listened, but I didn't really. It didn't went into my brain until I would say until this stage, until I came across something recently, and then I realized that, oh, okay, that I should stop punishing myself, that I should stop treating myself, for all this. That's why I decided to let go, by number one, of course, quitting, leaving the company. Number two, by, getting rid of all those toxic relationships. And number three, by finding myself and start to love myself, enjoying what I do, and then have fun. And suddenly, the whole, I wouldn't say the whole world, but my world at least, it's happier, Things are, even like on rainy days, I used to love the rain. I used to want to dance under rain, I used to want to have fun under rain. This time I just like, oh no, it's raining. Yeah, I just want to sleep. I don't want to do anything and stuff like that. But now I'm enjoying the rain. I'm like, oh, it's cool. We can save on aircon. I'm dancing in the hall. And then, I'm reading book. I'm studying. And then last time I used to, I mean, actually not last time, like last week, when I study, I tend to focus so focusedly, I have to get everything in my brain, I have to make sure that, I want to sit and really study and get everything. But now, me studying, I'm actually having fun studying. I could be playing game, I could be walking around, I could be dancing, but just listening to the word. I think it's when we actually open up and then we change our perspective and stop romanticizing pain. Yeah, that's when things change and you actually feel happier, and you tend to lose yourself, and a lot of things actually it gets better as time. Yeah, so I would agree to your this romanticizing pain. We should do another topic on that. Yeah, that's really very cool. But yeah, I do agree with that. So did you, up to this stage, since you already said that you have kind of overcome that whole period, have you found yourself?
Have I found myself?
Yeah, the AJ that you're meant to be, the AJ that you want to be, the AJ that, when you look in the mirror or when you look at yourself, you feel good, like, wow, this is who I want to be, that I have been longing for a very, very long time, and this is who I want to be, who I am,
Here's the funny fact about this whole situation. I thought that I'm not gonna like this version of myself now. 100%, like obviously not gonna be the same in the past. But I thought I'm gonna hate it because it's no longer the same. Because I used to, with the version in the past, which I know that it's better. This person, achieving so much in her life. She did a lot. She helped others. She worked for herself. She worked out. She go for training and things like that. So, but however, now the situation is different. I'm no longer able to be, free to do what I want to do like in the past, because the situation changes now. It's all about the uncertainties. It's all about, worrying about what if you get infected by the virus. You are afraid to go out, everywhere just like that for no reason. So the situation is totally different. And and I accept the fact, like finally I accept it. After I accept, then I started to realize that I have to just bear with it and then continue living, because this pandemic not gonna end tomorrow, maybe not gonna end this year, maybe not next year, you know. So I just have to continue living. Um, and even though it's no longer the same, but I kind of like this version of myself. So I managed to find myself back again, even though it's not the same version in the past, but this version definitely suits this moment. If my past self probably living now, I'm not sure whether I can survive. But I believe that now this version is much more stronger, wiser, and able to adapt and adjust well with current situation. So I'm fine with my current self and I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself then? After what you have overcome?
Very much. Like very much. The feeling is still there here and there. You know, of course, I can't forget things that heavily impacted me, especially when it comes to my career journey, my professionalism, ethics, and that kind of thing. You know, lingering on my mind in the past few months, last year. You know, it's still there, but it is not as, how to say, as big as it is in the past. Um, it is just, you know, there back in my head, or maybe it's not there anymore, because now I'm focusing on other things instead of focusing things that happened in the past. So it's me being myself now, here and now, bringing myself, working on myself for my future self, you know. So yeah, I'm very proud of myself.
So apart from being proud, another two more things is very important, you know.
Yep.
Are you happy and are you healthy?
Right, good question. Very, very important question. Thank you for asking me that.
Yes.
Right. Happiness. I always believe in, at the end of the time, doesn't matter what car you are using, whether your house is big or not, whether you are pretty slim, perfect, having a good partner, whatever. No, at the end of the time, it's about you and yourself, feeling content with what you have and constantly living yourself, doesn't matter what happens. So that's how I see happiness, because I can't be relying happiness coming from other people, you know, appreciation, people giving you know, kind word, good words, giving present and things like that. That is all the how to say, the outer source of your,
Extra.
yeah. But happiness should comes from within, like you yourself. Are you really feeling happy? Are you really feeling content, you know, with whatever that you have? um I At first I thought that I am in the search of happiness, until I realized that if I were, you know, working towards finding that happiness, I will never really appreciate things that be, you know, around me now, whatever that I have now, you know? So after realizing that, then I started to appreciate all those little things, all the little moments, um, even the little things that I did each and every day. I will definitely appreciate myself and um, you know, really say thank you to myself, because I didn't do this much in the past. In my younger version of myself, I didn't really do this much, but I did now. So thank you for that question. Am I happy? I'm happy to answer. Yes, I'm happy, and yeah. And am I healthy? I am getting better working on myself to feel and to be and to practice healthy. Because last time healthy, maybe it's about um, having a stable job, having a good financials, whatever, having a good, people around that is really supportive and positive, not toxic. But it's actually back again, whether you work on it or not, whether you, um, yeah, whether you take care of yourself or not. So healthy also not just involving your physical, but also your mental health, mental state. So my mental health currently in a good state, thankful. But there will be times that will be ups and down. I have to accept the fact that it is okay, because mental health is actually same as physical health. There will be time that we start suddenly, not feeling good, maybe feeling under the weather, fever, stomach ache, and things like that. The same goes to our mental health. Sometimes things might happen in our life because life is, it's about we are dynamic of living. Every day is learning process. We experience so many things. So all these things will make us feel up and down sometimes, but it's okay. So then when I say that it's okay, it doesn't mean that I just leave it like that. No, I have to do something about it, of course. So let's say if my well-being is not that okay in terms of, maybe it affected my sleep, maybe it affected my mood, my emotion. So then I have to do something about it, like work on emotional regulation, work on my breathing, exercise, and things like that. So yeah, much more healthier
Yeah,
now.
I would say way better than back then.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we did have talks in the middle and then, chats. So we have things that we have gone through. And of course, I'm very proud that to get you back as the
Oh.
AJ that I know. Not sure of which AJ that you like, but I kind of like this version also.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the happier one. I mean, I see you as someone who very caring and also very, I would say, someone who also inspires. Yeah, because when things are down and stuff like that, you were there during my university life. Okay, not college
Mm-hmm.
life.
Okay.
Since there was university, not college. Yeah, during
Mm-hmm.
our master times, we kind of struggle, especially during back then. We were working full time, we were also
Mm-hmm.
studying full time, and then
Yep.
we managed to overcome it in a year time. That's like a very proud and very great achievement that we have come through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that aside, even our friendship also,
Mm-hmm.
when we are down, things happen. I'm glad to have you there during that time period where I need someone to support, and you were there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have been motivating with, let's have a group study, and then let's
Mm-hmm.
go over to your place, and then we went to
Okay.
the libraries, we went all over to, just to get our master done, just as what we have planned, and I'm really
Mm-hmm.
proud that we actually get through it. Yeah, so you're someone that I see that who really cares a lot, and then you not only care, of course, about me and also all of our other friends, and also inspire us to do better. So at the time, I remember that you with your nuts and your coffee and your jogging, and sometimes you know sometimes that's killing
Okay.
me because when I try to get you to eat and stuff like that, I'm like the devil at there, the devil that you like so much at that wrong time who actually, try to get you out of, let's not do this, let's just go and eat and stuff like that. But I'm really proud of you that how you actually went through it and really motivate yourself to keep on going through that whole process, and not letting go just because this devil here come and say like, hey, come, let's go and eat, hey, come, let's go and do those things. Yeah, so I would say you're someone very inspiring, motivated, and someone who do not give up. So I would really hope that you do not give up on, especially during those period of time where you were down, and that we talk about it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad that you overcome it and be here, be back as my AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Yeah, seeing that you're happier, healthier, and also, doing this sharing with me, I'm really just
I
proud
have to
of
give
you.
I have to give credit to my support system as well. Maybe if it's just me alone by myself, maybe I can do it, but maybe I can't do it also. So talking about support system is also very important. Even though you self-claim that you are the devil, uh, but I would take it as it's a test for myself as well to test my own willpower. So I've been doing that journey, since meeting you 2018. I've been doing my journey back in 2017. So it's just like 1 year time, doing all this behavior modification. So whether can I, still go strong to the next year, to 2019, and that kind of question definitely is very important because that lifestyle I chose, that lifestyle, and I wanted to continue doing it for until the end of my life, because I could imagine myself 50 years old, and I'm still running, I'm still doing the Zumba, whatever. I imagine that myself in the future. So that's why I believe that I should start now, because I regret that I didn't start much earlier, because if I start much earlier, I do believe that now it's already become, part of me. It's not something that I'm working, still developing, still experimenting. But however, doesn't matter whether I start late or not. At least now I started, like, especially now.
True.
So to have that support system, you as someone at the same time, even though sometimes you kind of, lure me to go and enjoy food, especially
Well, I care that you should
on a
eat.
certain, yeah, on a certain occasion. But the bottom line is, I understand your point is I have to eat. That is important. I have to eat. I have to take good care of my self by eating all the good foods and that kind of thing. We do indulge, we do enjoy on a certain occasion. Um, but does it hurt? No, hurting me, no. So don't don't ever feel bad about it. Okay, all right. So
Oh, I don't. I'm the sweetest devil.
because at the same time, you kind of balance also, like you still support me at the same time, So yeah, because if you do it other way, maybe I didn't survive, but you did not. I think you are the type of person, really, how to say, um, accepting, but you have your a very strong, how to say, character as well. You know what you are doing. So it's not going to harm me. So as long as it's not going to harm me, then it's fine. So I think you know what you are doing at that point of time. It's not that you purposely did all that, right? So yeah, it's a beautiful journey. Even though it's very challenging, I think you still, you can recall if we whatever that we gone throughout our postgraduate years. It's not easy. It's very challenging. Working full time, studying full time. Um, we managed to complete our assignments. We managed to complete our research paper, all the exams. We good grades, right? So it's all about willpower. Now I started to
Yeah.
recall it back. Like, it's about willpower. You know where you are going. Like, you know what you want. So you give yourself 1 year. We do all this, like, 1 year. We complete everything. We do what we have to do. So with all this support system, with all this positivity, with this kind of environment, it give much more source of power to our willpower. So yeah, I think now looking back, this word willpower, I think I need to check whether now do I have any that willpower. I think I started to have it back, that willpower. So yeah, we are actually having that superpower without we realizing it. We are all
Yeah, true.
heroes in our own life, So yeah, go and save yourself.
Yeah, I think I also somewhat lost it, especially during that time. I mean, things were kind of chaotic, and it's very busy, and there's a lot of things to do. But we managed to survive it, and now we actually went through this stage of I would say decline mental health
Mm.
emotions thing, and then
Mm-hmm.
kind of lost touch of who we were back then. You know, like you mentioned, strong willpower, someone who is, you know, willing to do everything in order to get the goal, to achieve that goal. You know, like one whole year studying, one whole year working. So we managed to go through it. So it's there in us, just that we couldn't see it. Yeah. And especially I remember the times that, you know, even though you were at there dieting, I was stealing your nuts, and I wouldn't just call myself devil then. I would add a little bit of sweetness in front. You know? Sweet devil. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, actually, just like being on live during this project, Conquer Your Fear, I would say it's not only about just the guests, you know, my friends who I actually bring along to do live. I will also say I'm actually coming through and also conquering my fears. Yeah, because the first session I wanted to do was actually on live broadcasting. Then apart from my friend telling the whole people, everyone on how she's doing her first live broadcasting with me, that I finally managed to get her on board. You know, me myself is actually nervous if you actually did know about that, you know. So it's actually some fear that I was trying to conquer. And then seeing that I have actually did a few live broadcasting, but for other people, I would say that I kind of portray a me that who is fun, energetic, you know, because I'm doing it for other people. Yeah, so that's the image that I portray. But when doing it for myself, I tend to shy down. You know, I don't even dare to do online like my own live broadcasting. I kind of want to script it so that I wouldn't be nervous. You know, even though my hands shivering, you know, my hands cold. Yeah, then I try to get myself hyped outside. That's why I mentioned to you that in the beginning that I don't want this to be a too formal one, because I hope to bring out the me that you all see, so that it's a true sharing session, not like, you know, a professional one. Like, hey, I ask you a question as if we do not know each other. Yeah, so that's why I put in things that we have shared during the previously, and then I found out that it's actually more interesting, and I starting to have fun doing live. And for a moment back then, earlier while we were chatting, you know, also thanks to you again, yeah, that I actually felt like, doing live broadcasting is actually not that scary, you know, for my personal one. And then when you chat with someone, you don't always need to be formal. I mean, I wasn't even someone who's that formal anyway. I was always someone crazy, you know, you know, the devil of my friends. So I kind of want to bring out that devilish side of me, but at the same time, of course, I'm still sweet. So yeah, so I wouldn't say that, you know, I wouldn't think that, you know, I'm a bad person. It's just that sometimes I try to, they call it kenakan my friends. So just for the sake of doing it, so I have fun, and they know that. So I did
purpose. Yeah, at the same time. So I think instead of calling you devil, we can call you Angel. It's a mixture of angelic and also devil.
Come on, sweetest devil sounds better, okay?
Okay. Up to you.
It sounds somewhat wrong. Okay, so back to the topic. I mean, I'm glad that, you know, we did not follow whatever questions that we planned to do. It's very impromptu and very I mean, that's what I like about doing live, especially with my friends. I want it to be a friendship talk, sharing like how we do it instead of following a scripted or a question. So we kind of jump around questions or don't answer any question or create new question. So that's the fun part of it. Yeah. So since we are talking about fears, we actually went through about workplace fears. We talk about a little bit. I mean, I did touch a little bit of romance fear, and then, you know, about ourselves, dealing with ourselves. I think we did share quite an amount of things. So just a few more things just to end this. I would say we're almost to the end. You know. So what do you think people can do when they come across this kind of question? I mean, when they come across this kind of situation where suddenly they get all stuck, and then they say that, you know, I want to do it myself. I do not want to get help from other people. You know, back then, if you were to go back back then, what would you do? How would you help yourself? Which is when you do not want to let anyone in. How would you slightly open the door to let people in and save yourself?
Right. First thing first, the acceptance. The word that I used in the just now, not being in denial, because you have to face your fears. right? Because the more you avoid your fears, the more you make that situation really, scarier, as if you can't do anything about it, as if it's overpowering you in your life, controlling your life. So what I can say is face your fears, like conquer your fears, because whatever that you fear of, if you face it, then it should start to fade slowly, because one at a time. When I say one at a time, which means accept, then you are able to feel much more lighter and calmer. Go back to basics. Then only you can think of, okay, what can I do next? Right? So and next thing is, this is, I would say, my advice to my past self. Don't try to be perfect. What does it mean by not being this perfect person or figure? Just like what I told you just now, that I don't want to make people feel burdened, and also I don't want people to see me as someone suddenly become a scary cat, um, failure, that kind of terminology that I use for myself. So don't try to be perfect. And yeah, I can't deny life is full of stresses, challenges, and then yet many of us still feel that our life must be perfect, sadly. And bad days and setback will always happen. Accept that reality, accept the fact. And it is important to remember that sometimes life is messy. So once I realize this, don't try to be perfect, don't try to portray a different version or not real version of myself, then I think at that point of time I can actually able to seek for help or get help, And last but not least, I would say, talk about it, because maybe if you're not ready to talk about it to other people, talk about it to yourself first. Talk about it to yourself first. Like, because the moment you talk about it, it's either you do this self-talking, maybe you express through writing, or record a video, or whatever that you can do. You will actually started to pick up points here and there. You will started to see there's so many loopholes there. You are actually not doing anything about this whole situation. It's time for you to get up and do something about it. From there, then you can actually breathe and do something about it. So yeah, I would say that would be something that will help myself in the past, and hopefully this will help the people who probably listening to this now.
Okay, so the last question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I should do something crazy that I never do online?
What is that?
No.
Example, please.
For example, I wasn't a good friend who actually forgot someone's birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then even though we can dine in, I don't think it's appropriate to go out yet. So the only thing that I could give you, and also to conquer my fear, and also my first life one, is to give you a birthday song.
Oh, okay. Yes, please.
Oh
Go
no!
ahead.
Did I just dig a hole myself?
It's fine. Not all the time.
Yeah, I actually wanted to do it in the beginning, but I decided that, let's just do it at the end.
Okay.
So yeah, first time on live me singing "Oh shit." Hope
Whoa.
I actually, yeah, hope I
Okay.
actually come through it. But since we were talking about conquer your fears, you have already did yours, so I'm thinking that I should also do mine. So I guess let's just do it, since I'm the crazy sweetest devil friend of yours who just do whatever that you have on mind.
Okay.
So happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to AJ, happy birthday to you. Oh shit, I just did it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, we will celebrate after this, okay? When the things somewhat settle down, and yeah, I'll get you the cake since you got me mine. I
Yay,
have more candles there.
Okay.
I have more candles there. Yeah, so I guess this is our sharing for today. Any closing do you want to mention? Any closing speech?
Right. Okay. I prepared this. Okay. First thing first, we are just a normal human being, and then life is all about learning, experiencing. So every day is not going to be the same, right? And then challenges await for someone who tried to move forward in life. It is challenging, but nothing is impossible for us as long as we do not live in denial and romanticize. How do I pronounce this again? Romanticizing
Romanticize pain.
feeling broken. Take your time as long as you want, but remember that yourself is waiting for you. Do not forget to give yourself love, care, attention, and fight for your own self. You will be living with yourself forever. Hence, do not forget yourself. They need you. Yourself need you.
They?
The world needs you. They
Ah.
arrange for people.
Yeah,
And
I'm
don't
thinking they as in how many selves do we have?
I'm
Oh,
not sure. But they that I refer to is actually the people around you actually need you. The world needs
yeah.
you.
I think I somewhat really show my so-called true colors there. I kind of hidden away from people who do not know me. So I'm glad that I kind of showcase somewhat half part of me. I wouldn't say half part of me. Partial of me lah, okay? I'm kind of the person that's unpredictable, so you can't really see half part of me. You kind of get to see just a tiny bit. But the fact that I actually did a birthday song live, you know,
Yes.
start to enjoy life. Showing the sweetest devil me, yeah, I still prefer these words. I don't mind being called a devil with a little bit of sweetness. Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say today I actually conquered my fear that I want to do. Yeah, not only being more free and easy, I would say a little bit more chill during our live sharing session. Yeah, sometimes you see me. I just hope to get guests who talks a lot. They can share, so I don't need to ask so many questions. I don't really reply back to them and stuff like that. But I feel like when it's with your friends, you tend to have these Q&A sessions with someone that's automatically done. So I'm really glad that you're on board today. Who, you know, you play your counseling role somehow on live as well. Yeah, of course, I wouldn't say that only to them that you share a lot of meaningful things to people who actually need help or are seeking for help, and then who might be facing things that we actually face that. So I'm really glad that you actually share on what they can actually do or what they can actually come through, things that you have really gone through and is willing to share online. So I'm glad that you have really come through and also gone through the whole stage, you know, with all this conquer your fear thing as per the title that we this project that we want to do. And also I'm glad that you also helped me to conquer some fears of mine that I just only share. So it's a win-win situation, and I hope that everyone, apart from staying safe, will also take care of themselves and especially find time to really love yourself, because that is really an important thing. Yeah, as much as a lot of people, they actually remind that you should pay attention to yourself, you should have a lot of self-love. It's not an easy thing. Sometimes you might just dislike yourself, sometimes you might not agree with whatever things that you do, and then you will not even admit to people that you are, okay, someone there's this alter ego, I would say. You will not admit to people, but then you just have to find this reason to love yourself, find a reason why you are doing such things, find a reason why your purpose of life, the why they always said, and also really find time to love yourself and just enjoy living, just enjoy and have fun, and things will just work out automatically. You don't need to rush around things, you know. Sometimes you just let things go and suddenly you're like, oh, chill, and then you will come across it and everything happens for a reason. So things will also come at its own time. Yeah. So I guess that's our sharing for today. Thank you very much, AJ, for coming on board.
You too.
You know, happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Right.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So that's all for our sharing today. Thank you, everyone. Stay tuned for our next sharing session, the 2 Fridays after this. Yeah. And then we'll see you all with more projects. Thank you very much.
all
Bye-bye.
right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thanks, Chelsey.